Hello and welcome back to another Cabot Panther basketball varsity game. I'll be your play-by-play commentator, Carson Cook, and sitting next to me is the color commentator,
Colton Hennessy.
The Panthers will win the tip-off and try and get things started immediately with a three from Gavin Muse. It'll be off the mark, rebounded by the Griffins.
Man, we spoke to Gavin Muse before the game commenced, and he said that he was looking for a big performance tonight, so expect a lot out of Mr. Muse.
Griffins driving. It'll be off the mark, rebounded by Jared. Panthers bring the ball up the court, over to Bennett, down to Goddard. We'll have it poked away. And that'll be Alexander getting fouled on the fast break.
Just a little too much reaching from the Panthers right there. Couldn't get their hand out the cookie jar.
That'll be the first foul of the night on Gavin Muse. Some special moves from Page to put the first points on the board tonight for the Griffins.
Very strong layup. And a quick foul call right there.
That'll be on Hudson of the Griffins. It'll be Panthers ball. Grant Goddard taking the ball out. Into Jermaine Christopher. Passing it around, back to Muse. Down to Jared McCain, and he'll put 2 points on the board for the Panthers as well, tying it up at 2 too early.
And a strong move from Jarrett Coleman right there to get that bucket.
Over to Alexander. Back to Hudson. Hudson looking for something. Can't get around the Panthers defense. He'll swing it out. Alexander with the three. It'll be off the mark. And that'll be a foul on Brandon Bennett. The second Panther foul on the night.
Tough right there. Bennett really just trying to go in and get a hand on that rebound. Just got too much arm. The officials were not going to allow that.
That'd be Robert Alexander with the ball now. Over to Kingston Alexander. Meredith with the ball. It's poked away by Jared McCain. Coleman, excuse me. Jermaine Christopher with a crafty finish at the bucket. He won't get it, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line for two.
And a strong move for Christopher right there. Love seeing him a drive to the basket. He's able to draw fouls. Very crafty at the rim.
So his first one will go, making it 3-2 Panthers' favor.
Gotta love seeing Christopher convert at the line. We see him there so often on those hard drives to the hoop.
He'll be rebounded by the Griffins as they'll try and keep things fast-paced. This round almost poked away by Brandon Bennett.
Griffins trying to get something going here.
Passing it around, swinging it across the court. Shot clock winding down, looking for something. Can't seem to get past this Panthers defense as Jermaine Christopher strips it away on the fast break. He'll go up, and they'll call it on the floor. Be a foul on the floor on the Griffins. It'll be Panther possession anyway.
Man, I wish that Christopher wouldn't have decided to be safe right there, especially after the foul call. It's a quick bucket on the inbounds play. But man, Christopher really got up right there. I thought he was gonna slam it, as we've seen him do so many times this season.
And that would put a dagger in the hearts of the Griffins very early, swinging some momentum over the Panthers, which they seem to have a lot of it now, making it 5-2. Griffin's bench does not look happy.
And just like the girls, the boys Southwest squad is 0-6 in conference, still without a win. And just from the beginning of this game, you can tell they play a lot of selfish ball. The ball is not getting swung around as much as it should.
That'll be Kingston Alexander bringing the ball up the court now for the Griffins. Over to Page. Page back to the other Alexander. Kingston with the ball now, passing it around. Be Robert Alexander driving. He'll pull up from the free throw line. It'll be off the mark, rebounded by Gavin Muse.
Good move right there and a quick pull up. Could not get it to fall, however.
Gavin Muse fumbling around with the ball, trying to get it out. Giving it to Brandon Bennett. Back to Muse. Muse down to Goddard, down to Coleman, and great swinging with the passes for the Panthers offense.
Like you said, outstanding ball movement by the Panthers right there. Poetry in motion, what we saw from the Cabot Panthers offense.
Hudson with the ball now. Over to Kingston Alexander. It'll be Page over to Robert Alexander. Page pulling from three over Jermaine Christopher. It'll be off the mark. Jermaine with the ball once again, bringing the ball up the court for the Panthers. And poked away by Hudson. Hudson will drive. They'll call that a travel as he sends Grant Goddard flying. And what an effort by Grant Goddard to get back and force that.
And great hustle, like you said, from Goddard right there to cut off the attacking Griffin. Unfortunately for him, he just took one too many steps. It'll be Panther ball.
Jermaine Christopher with the ball once again. By Hudson, he'll drive and he's blocked. It'll be Panther ball.
And a great move by Christopher to get down low. Unfortunately for him, it just got poked away.
It'll be Braden Hall coming in for Grant Goddard now. And Chris Leaks coming in for Coleman. Gavin down to Leaks. And he'll get his first points of the night, making it 9-2 Panthers.
And then first of many, hopefully, as the Panthers, as Coleman, I apologize. As Chris Leaks really put on a show last time we were here whenever the Panthers faced Little Rock Central.
That'll be Mitchell and Muhammad checking in for the Griffins. Muhammad taking the ball out now. Robert Alexander with the ball now. Griffins slowing things down, trying to find a hole in this defense, and they won't find it. Poked away. Jermaine Christopher with the ball now. Over to Hall, who'll take a deep three. It'll be off the mark. Griffins with the ball once again.
And we know Braden Hall can knock down that shot. And a strong block from Gavin Muse.
Gavin Muse on the other side of the court. He'll go up, and he's blocked as well, but he'll get his own rebound and put it back up again, showing the Griffins that he's not to be messed with, making it 11-2.
As it is obvious, and as Panther fans, we have known this for such a long time, that Gavin Muse is him.
He's sure played like it so far tonight. And I'm seeing a common theme between the girls and the boys game tonight, getting up early in the first period.
The man Muse with the snatch block on one end, able to turn it into points on the other after sticking with his shot that was blocked. A great start for the Panthers right here, up 11-2. Seeing if they can keep it going.
And you really can't ask much more from this Panther team, who have played so well tonight, keeping it very even as far as scoring goes. Meredith on the court now for the Griffins. It'll be Robert Alexander taking the ball up the court. Trying to slow things down, find some momentum for his team. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Hudson. Muhammad with the ball now. Passing around a lot more is the Griffins offense. Be back to Mitchell in the corner. Shot clock winding down at 8 now. Robert Alexander driving and can't get the bucket. It'll be Chris Leaks with a demanding rebound.
And really strong rebound from Chris Leaks right there, showing what he can do.
Brandon Bennett at the other side of the court knocks down a 3 to add to this Panther lead early on.
What a bucket from Brandon Bennett. Nothing but net on that shot from the corner, as we know that is his spot. A very strong 3-and-D player, Mr. Bennett.
Muhammad losing the ball, poked away by Gavin Muse. He'll drive against 3 other Griffins, and he'll capitalize, making his 4th point on the night.
At the high school level, finished with a non-dominant hand right there. Made it look easy with the defender in his face.
Robert Alexander trying to answer back. He won't be able to. Jermaine Christopher with the rebound. Almost poked away by Hudson. Christopher will drive and find his big man, Chris Leaks, down low for another 2 points for the Panthers.
What a find from Christopher. Back down low to Leaks. Man, set up another bucket for Leaks. That's his second. Very similar, similar plays. And very unfortunate for the Panthers. The loss of Austin King. Still no clear result, but it's looking like it's something in his knee. Pray for a speedy recovery. We need him back as soon as possible.
We all keep him in our thoughts and prayers tonight. But so far, this Panthers team has not been slowed down by his absence, leading 18-2 in the first period. It'll be Robert Alexander taking the ball up the court now. Call that a walk on the Griffins.
Another turnover forced by the Panthers right there. Really forced this Griffin team in some tough offensive sets.
Coleman is checked in for Leaks now. It'll be Gavin Muse taking the ball up the court. Goddard swing it around. Trying to get it down low to Coleman. They won't be able to. Poked away by the Griffins.
Right idea, wrong result.
Page going up contested. He won't get it. Rebounded by Goddard. They'll call a foul, and the Griffins trying to get it back.
And really tough for Southwest right there. Not able to capitalize on the turnover. One of the few turnovers tonight by the Panthers.
Gavin Muse with the ball now. Passing it around is the Panthers. Back to Muse in the corner. He'll take a 3, and it is good, making the lead 21-2 over the Griffins for the Panthers.
Beautiful stroke from Gavin Muse right there. Not known as the three-point sharpshooter, but we know he can knock it down whenever he's left open.
Page with the ball now, slowing things down. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell's passing it around to the Griffins offense. He'll take a 3 to answer back and won't find the iron as Gavin Muse has the ball now. Getting it down to Coleman. Coleman will go up. It'll be off the mark. Goddard with the putback. It'll be off the mark as well. And that'll be the end of the first period. Your Panthers leading 21-2. And wow, does this look like the Lady Panthers game?
Man, sure it does. Strong defense, strong offense from the Panthers. I believe at the end of the first period it was 18-2 in the Lady Panthers game. Man, very, very similar scores right now.
Great showing, as always, by the Cabot Panther cheerleading squad, as we will kick off this second period for your Panthers varsity basketball. Griffins trying to get back into this game, and the Panthers trying to exceed on their already very steep lead. It'll be Griffin's ball. Hudson taking the ball out for them.
Gavin Muse, your leading scorer for the Panthers right now with 7, as he hit a beautiful 3 and had a nice block and bucket in transition.
Robert Alexander with the ball now. Passing it around. The Griffins looking to make something happen here. Kingston Alexander with a few circus moves. They'll call that a travel on the Griffins. It'll be another turnover on the night for them.
Unfortunately, just moved the pivot foot before putting the ball on deck. Very crafty player, Alexander.
Christopher with the ball now, over to Bennett. Bennett trying to get past this Griffins defense. They're making it hard. Coleman, though, does it with ease as he gets the bucket from the pass from Bennett, excuse me.
Great bucket right there from Coleman. Great move to get around the defense.
That'll be Alexander to Alexander. It'll be off the mark. Muse with the ball now. Over to Bennett in the corner. And Brandon Bennett with another 3. It seems like it's raining them tonight, making it 26-2.
Bennett had way too much time right there. Such an easy shot for him to knock down. No different than a layup for Brandon Bennett.
Coleman with outstanding defense on Page, and even better offense from Page, making it their second score on the night, 26-4.
What a beautiful baby hook from Page right there, able to get it over the taller defender in Coleman.
Evan Muse misses the layup, but he'll get his own rebound. Dominating the paint tonight is Gavin Muse.
Man, what a move to get to the rack right there. Also able to grab his own board, similar to his fast break opportunity as the jump shot's knocked down by the Griffins.
That'll be Page's second points on the night. Bennett driving out to Christopher. He'll go up and make it look easy over 3 Griffins defenders.
Christopher so crafty at the rim, able to elevate like no other. The strong bucket and a steal on the other end. There was a foul called on the Griffins right there. Very quick in transition. Trying to stop the momentum of Christopher. It's Tripp Dyer and Owen Swanson check into the game.
That foul will be on Kingston Alexander as the Panthers bring the ball in. Christopher over to Swanson. Wants to back it out to Christopher. Down low to Coleman once again. It'll be poked out.
New shot clock for the Panthers right here.
Bringing it down to Coleman once again is Christopher, and he'll make a showing of his size and demeanor. And so go for a 3-point opportunity.
Another great bucket from Jarrett Coleman down low, showing off the post moves, very similar to Nikola Jokic. And the way he moves down low, able to find so many openings. The Panthers now looking to lead excuse me, that will be 33-7. Panthers on top.
Meredith checks in for the Griffins. Griffins looking for something, trying to get into double digits now. It'll be Robert Alexander off the mark.
Some great defense from Bennett right there. Not giving the offensive player an inch of space.
Christopher bringing the ball up the court. Swinging it around is the Panthers. Did it to Coleman once again. There's down low to Coleman. And that's another one for Jarrett Coleman, making his 11th point on the night.
Coleman quickly into double digits here to showcase the post moves.
That shot will be off the mark for Kingston Alexander. So Panther brings the ball up the court. Jermaine will drive, and they'll call that a blocking foul on Meredith.
And what an attack from Christopher. Really bulldozed Meredith right there, but just wasn't set up in time. The right idea, wrong result once more for the Griffins.
Jermaine Christopher will go to the line for two. His first one won't go, looking to make the lead 36-7 now. As Chris Leaks and Braden Hall check in for Brandon Bennett and Jarrett Coleman. Christopher will go 1 for 1 from the line as another Alexander checks in for Kingston Alexander from the Griffins.
Christopher now 2 for 4 at the line. Really working on capitalizing on his attempts.
Griffins looking to make something happen. Kind of a forced shot from Page, but it'll go. Making his 7th point on the night, 7 of 9 for the Griffins. That'll be a travel call on Owen Swanson.
He was just trying to get set up right there. Unfortunately, took one too many steps. Tough outcome right there.
Robert Alexander passing it around to his teammates. Page once again trying to make something out of it. He'll pass it out to Alexander, and it'll be off the mark, rebounded by Trip Dyer.
Strong board right there from Trip, something you love to see.
Almost stolen, but Braden Hall with his quickness steals the ball back and capitalizes on an open layup, making it 38-9.
And just a quick move from Braden Hall. It's his defender trying to steal the pass. Went flying across the court.
That'll be Navarre Alexander with the 3. And finally, the Griffins, late into the second period, are into double digits. Wayne Christopher driving and out to Owen Swanson, who'll get another chance at three, and it'll be off the mark. Braden Hall with the rebound. And man, the offensive rebounds from the Panthers tonight have been demanding.
Man, Braden Hall showing off the vertical. Getting up to that ball. The 3 is knocked down on the other end by Alexander.
Impressive shot by Robert Alexander. Owen Swanson trying to answer back. It'll be off the mark once again. Hudson driving, and he's fouled hard.
Man, and Hudson really hit the deck right there. Scary fall. But you like to see the hustle out of Swanson trying to get back on defense. Maybe a little bit of frustration right there.
Hudson's first will come off the front of the iron as Grant Goddard and Gavin Muse check in for Trip Dyer and Jermaine Christopher. Along with Brandon Bennett for Owen Swanson.
And then Swanson had a few good looks at 3, the first one being a travel. The other 2, unfortunately, didn't fall. But nonetheless, good looks, and Panthers love those opportunities.
And Hudson will go 1 for 1 at the line, making it 40-16 Panther lead. Gavin Muse trying to drive. The ball will get away from him, though. It'll be Griffin ball.
He was really frustrated with himself, even though he's had quite the game, being a very forceful impact on both sides of the ball.
Griffin swinging it around, trying to keep this momentum going. Robert Alexander looking for the foul, hustling to get the ball back, though. Hudson with the ball. He'll pull up from a deep 2, and it'll air ball. It'll be Panther ball once again.
Man, the Panther fans letting them hear it for the air ball.
Gavin Muse driving out to 3. Will be off the mark. Rebounded by Braden Hall, blocked and poked away. Panthers with possession once again. Gavin Muse will take a contested shot. He's blocked. And rebounded by the Griffins. Extraordinary defense by the Griffins. And Robert Alexander, looking for a foul he won't get.
Quite frustrated is Alexander not getting these calls.
Bennett from the corner once again. It'll be off the mark. Meredith with the rebound. Griffins trying to keep things fast-paced. Page driving on Chris Leaks, and they'll call that. Excuse me. They'll call that a foul on Chris Leaks on the floor. It'll be Griffin's ball.
Chris Leaks active with his hands right there. Really stopped the momentum of the Griffins player, but wanted too much, and unfortunately fouled. Jarrett Coleman will check in for Leaks.
Robert Alexander passing the ball in for the Griffins over to Hudson. Hudson to Page. Page will take a 3 contested. It'll be off the mark. Jarrett Coleman with the rebound. Hughes taking the ball up the court. Down to Jarrett Coleman, and it's blocked by Meredith. Muse with the ball once again. Hall will drive out to Bennett. Bennett drives as well, and he'll get it down to his teammate Hall. Add another 2 to the board.
What a find from Brandon Bennett. Able to get it down low. Some great passes. One by Muse. Unfortunately, the shot was blocked from Coleman. There's some active hands on the defensive side. Brandon Bennett now diving on the deck.
And as the Panthers will capitalize on a fast break opportunity, that'll be Grant Goddard scoring his first points on the night. The Griffins looking for their last shot of the first half.
The Griffins still struggling to find anything. As you can see the frustration in all their faces.
Robert Alexander will get a drive call for him, or excuse me, a charge call.
.8 seconds left here. It's going to take. They'll just decide not to take the shot full court.
And holding it from Gavin Muse will bring the first half to a close. We'll see you in the second.
All right, now I'll go to the student section. Really? Yeah. I just want to, no, I gotta get some footage.
Hello and welcome back to Cabot Panthers boys basketball. Kicking off the third period, the Panthers lead the Griffins 44-16. So that'll be a foul call on Gavin Muse. Excuse me, that'll be on the Griffins.
Man, what a way to open the half. We've seen that a few times from the Panthers, trying to get a lob up to Gavin Muse just for some quick offense.
Speaking of lobs, way to get up there and get that by Gavin Muse. Trying to make something happen. He'll pass it around. Down to Coleman once again. That'll make his 13th point on the night.
For the Southwest team, they just have nobody to match up against Coleman or Leaks.
The post has been a problem for the Griffins. They're passing it around now on the perimeter. Hudson with the ball now. Kingston Alexander trying to get a play going. Still passing around as the Griffins, as the shot clock wind down. Kingston Alexander will get a shot off. It'll be off the mark. Christopher passing down to Goddard. He'll try and get it in. He won't be able to. It's stolen by the Griffins. Kingston Alexander, and that is blocked. The shot by Meredith, that'll be a foul call though. Meredith will go to the line for two.
And Muse almost able to get all ball right there as he got up for that one.
And with the first points of the Griffins half is Meredith. He'll look for another one here. He won't get it. It'll be rebounded by Goddard. Panthers taking the ball up the court now. Over to Bennett. Bennett will drive and out to Muse. Muse will take a deep three. Off the mark. Griffin's trying to get something to happen. Page will drive and it'll be off the mark again. Gavin Muse has the ball now. He'll drive down to Coleman. Coleman will be off the mark. Rebounded by the Griffins. Down low. Very good pass by the Griffins. Rebounded by the Panthers once again.
And back and forth they go. There's nobody able to catch some momentum. Nobody able to get a bucket right here.
Goddard with the ball now. Giving it to Christopher. Across the court to Muse. Will take another three, and this one will be off the mark as well. Rebounded by Coleman once more. And that'll be Griffin's ball.
It's a 3-second call on Coleman right there. Just couldn't find his way out of the paint. Man, some more good looks for Muse on the perimeter. Just hasn't been able to get one to fall since the one in the first half.
Hudson over to Kingston Alexander. Alexander down to Meredith. Back out to Hudson. Moving it around is the Griffins now. Hudson again. They'll call a travel on Meredith. It'll be Panther ball.
And another turnover forced by this Panther defense. Staying strong here as they have a 29-point lead, looking to stretch it to 30.
Jermaine Christopher with the ball now, trying to get past some Griffins. Over to Coleman. Muse with the ball now. Down to Coleman once more. And that'll make his 15th point on the night. He's been such a huge puzzle piece for this Cabot offense tonight.
Man, nobody able to guard Jarrett Coleman.
And Robert Alexander not exactly happy with that call. It'll be Panther ball as Trip Dyer, Braden Hall, Owen Swatson, and Parker Hines check into the game. Parker Hines, last time I saw him at a game, scored 7 points in 2 minutes.
This wasn't the last time we were in Panther Arena, but one of the last. As here's Parker Hines. He dishes it around.
Hall From 3, it'll be off the mark. Hudson with the rebound, taking the ball up for the Griffins, trying to get something going. Meredith out to Alexander. Driving and out to Page. Be off the mark, but rebounded by Meredith, and they'll put it back up to make it 19-48. Hall moving the ball up the court now. Met by Hudson. Down low to Leaks, and nothing can stop these big men tonight. They'll call it a foul on the floor, however.
And wish they would have gave him the continuation right there. As even with that much body, a defender jumping on Chris Leaks, he was still able to finish through the contact.
Very smart foul by the Griffins, as Owen Swanson will get a fundamental jump shot. Make another 2 and make 50 for the Panthers tonight. Alexander with the ball now driving. He'll put it up as a little floater, and it'll be rebounded by Chris Leaks.
They will call a loose ball foul down low. That'll be on Owen as he got a little bit of push. He pushed off the defender trying to go for the rebound.
Inbounding the ball is the Griffins. Robert Alexander driving, it'll be off the mark, rebounded by Chris Leaks once again. Hines driving. Pass it over to Dyer. Dyer down low to Leaks, looking for him, but it'll sail over his head or go out of bounds, and Page inbounding the ball for the Griffins.
And right idea, wrong result for Trip Dyer right there. Really wanted to get the ball down low to the mismatch. As he will be trapping in the corner.
Not seem to affect him, as he is one of the main factors of getting that ball back. Braden Hall down the court now. And it's poked away by Robert Alexander. He'll drive, and with a shifty move, he'll get a very, very crafty layup down in the post.
Tough finish from Alexander right there, as he's been one of the few bright spots for the Southwest team.
Braden Hall with the ball now. Out to Parker Hines with an open corner 3. It'll be off the mark, rebounded by Leaks once again. He'll put it back up, and it seems like nothing can stop him and Jarrett Coleman tonight.
There's just nobody guarding the big body of Chris Leaks. There's nobody able to match up to his physicality down low.
Speaking of physicality, Page will go to the line for 2 for the Griffins. That'll be on Leaks. Once again, that'll make his second foul of the night.
And then you can really tell with Chris and Jarrett both, there's not a single player on that Griffins bench or in the game right now that even comes close to their size.
That'll be Mitchell checking in for Meredith.
Vance checks in for Braden Hall.
Page looking for one, and it's on the mark. Passing it in is the Panthers. Parker Hines with the ball now, trying to get past the Griffins defender. Give it to Trip Dyer. Poked away by the Griffins defender, but Vance has the ball now. Back to Dyer. Dyer drives, and with a crafty layup, he'll get to the rim. That'll be his first points on the night.
Beautiful bucket from Dyer right there.
That three-point attempt from Navarre Alexander will be off the mark, as Parker Hines has the ball now. Over to Chris. Dyer looking for someone to pass to. He'll go up himself and looking for the foul, and he won't get it.
And it seems that every time the ball gets in the post, these big men are being extremely selfish, but how can you blame them? They see it, they're so close to the bucket. Even at times going up 1v4, 1v3.
Vance with the ball now, passing it around. Hines over to Swanson. Back to Vance over to Leaks. Vance will take a three, and it'll be on the mark as the Panthers bench goes wild.
And the sophomore Nate Vance really getting that Panther bench hyped up.
Page with a very contested jumper. It'll be off the mark. Hines bringing the ball up the court now. Over to Swanson. Swanson with his 4-3 attempt. It'll be off the mark once again. And stolen by Parker Hines. Very impressive showing by Parker Hines tonight. They'll give it to Dyer. Almost poked away by the Griffins defense. Passing it around is the Panthers. Leaks with the ball. He'll give it down to Swanson. Swanson will be off the mark once again.
Great cut by Swanson right there. Fortunately, couldn't get the tough layup to fall.
Robert Alexander with a nice move on Parker Hines. He'll pull up and get another three ball. That'll make his 10th point on the night. Speaking of crafty moves, there's Parker Hines once again. Over to Dyer. Dyer to Hines. Down low to Leaks, and Leaks with his left hand, it'll be off the mark.
Strong move from Leaks right there. Unfortunately, couldn't get it to fall.
Robert Alexander with a step back three. It'll be off the mark, trying to beat the buzzer, and he will not.
31-point lead for the Panthers going into the fourth quarter. Looking quite nice for them. Man, that Panther bench is still hype on that bucket by Nate Vance.
As Jermaine Christopher gives Coach Bailey a big old hug, you like to see that. Now, Colton, as the Griffins coach, what are you saying to your team right now?
There's not much you can say other than the fact that there's not much time left here in this game. It's very, very difficult for these Griffins, to get back into it as they face a 31-point deficit to the Panthers.
Not much the Griffins can do at this point. Easy buckets and no turnovers seem to be the only way to get remotely back into this game. The Panthers will lead 57-26 going into the fourth period. As the same Southwest personnel will stay on the court except for Chalk Mitchell. William Brown will check in for the Cabot Panthers.
Great to see Will on the court right here. So we've got a all junior and one sophomore personnel in. And Nate Vance, very impressive, very talented young player the Panthers will have for the next 2 years.
Swinging around is the Griffins trying to get something going, and Mitchell will drive, and he's fouled.
Some great defense from Vance right there, all the way to the rack. Unfortunately, just brought the hand down and got a little bit too much skin from Mitchell.
Mitchell will look for two. The first one will be off the front of the iron. And he will go 0 for 2 at the line. Vance bringing the ball up the court, trying to slow things down for the Panthers. He's trapped, and he'll throw it off a Griffin. Very heads-up play there by Nate Vance.
High IQ from the young sophomore right there. Able to toss it off the defender. Will remain Cabot ball.
Dyer throwing the ball in for the Panthers. Over to Hines. Runs over to Vance. Vance swinging it back around. Owen Swanson will take a contested three. He'll be 0-5 on the night. William Brown fighting for that rebound. He won't get it. That'll be Robert Alexander passing it to another Griffin. It'll be fouled. They'll call that an and-one opportunity. And Navarre Alexander will get a chance at a three-point play.
Swanson's shot just hasn't been able to fall tonight. He will check out of the game for Colton Rosenbaum and Charlie Powell.
Chip Dyer headed off the court, as well as Navarre Alexander will attempt his free throw. And it'll be off the mark. Rosenbaum, newly into the game, newly with a rebound. Charlie Powell trying to get it out of the trap. Hines with the ball now. Down to Vance. Vance will go up and finishing with his left. It'll be another 2 points on the Panthers board. Alexander will be fouled by Vance.
Alexander's still unhappy with how this game has been officiated. See, he mouthed some words after that call. It seems he's finally got one.
Mitchell will check out for Shaw. As the Cabot student section is really letting the Griffins hear it after tonight. Great defense by Rosenbaum. It's poked away. He'll throw it down to Powell. Powell will get his chance at a layup. And with a crafty finish, he'll get 2 points on the board as the arena goes wild. The bench is happy to see Charlie Powell score some points. Robert Alexander will drive and be fouled.
And the crowd erupted after the bucket from Stephen Charlie Powell. Man, the backup QB, multi-sport athlete out here getting buckets in the varsity basketball game. Man, you could hear that student section, chanting, "Let's go, Stephen, let's go, Stephen." He gets his bucket right there.
And you love to see it for Charlie Powell, as Robert Alexander's first falls to make it 29-61, and the second will cut down their lead to 61-30. Vance with the ball now. Poked away by Muhammad. Out on the Griffins.
Heads up defense right there late in this game by Muhammad. He feels all hope is not yet lost, even with a 31-point deficit.
William Brown fighting with the ball, and he won't come out with it. Robert Alexander passing it out to Shaw. Shaw will take a floater, and that's good. Be his first points on the night, and the Griffins 32nd. Forward pass by Hines. It'll go out, be Griffin's ball.
The Panthers playing hands-up defense still late in this game with a comfortable lead.
Robert Alexander deep from three, contested, and he'll make it. Where was this shooting all night? Coming out with 15 points now, making that the Griffins' 35th. Vance with the ball now, driving, step back, fadeaway, and he'll make it. Whatever works, I guess. That didn't look like a very fundamentally sound shot, but it went in.
I don't know what Coach Bailey just said, but he was yelling at his players on the floor, clear distress.
Robert Alexander trying to get crafty once again. He won't be able to. Shaw with the ball now. Shaw will pull from three, contested by Rosenbaum. He was looking for a foul, but wow, what a shot by Shaw.
And they're wondering where this has been all game. Should have put Shaw in the first quarter.
And Hines just driving past the Griffins defense, seemingly non-existent.
Hines with a nice bucket right there. Elevates and scores.
Robert Alexander trying to answer back. He won't be able to. Clearly frustrated with himself and the team at this point. It's 65-38 Panthers. Rosenbaum will take the ball out for the Panthers now. Over to Hines. Hines will get past the Griffins defense out to Vance. Vance will get crafty and be fouled for an and one opportunity. Wow, what a move and layup by Nate Vance. I am excited to see what he can do in this next 2 years on the Cabot Panther team.
And then the southpaw sophomore Nate Vance able to elevate and score with the right. Unfortunately, his and one free throw would not fall. I think some of the hype got in his head.
Hudson with the ball now. No drive and it'll be off the mark. He'll get his own rebound. Mitchell will shoot. It'll be off the mark as well. Muhammad will shoot. That'll be off the mark as well. Rebounded finally by a Panther and poked away. They'll call that Griffin's ball. Panther fans not happy about that call. Shaw with the ball now. He'll take a floater. It'll be off the mark. Rebounded by Rosenbaum. He'll try to get it to William Brown before the time expires. He won't be able to. Final score 67-38, your Panthers. I've been your play-by-play commentator, Carson Cook, for the evening. And sitting next to me is your color commentator,
Colton Hennessy. Y'all have a good night.